Hi, creative friends. This is Sreya, and thank you so much for being here. So this is part 2 of me working on my 100-day project of mixed media portraits. And I just wanted to say that when I started my 100-day project, the intention I set, the goal of me working on these portraits was for me to learn new things, for me to push myself out of my comfort zone. And as I go back and forth between, say, my 100-day projects and working in painting the feminine art journal, or my healing my ancestral trauma, or now with my cutout painted ladies, like whatever I'm working on, like still lifes or whatever, and then I come back to this, then it's going to give me food and fodder for new ways of working, new intentions that I'm setting, new things that I want to kind of explore. So in my last video on this, I wanted to use this collage in particular, and what I'm trying to express, and this is where I said it's kind of like a thread of an idea. It's not a fully fleshed out kind of cohesive idea that I have. So what I did is I was writing in my studio log, and I was like journaling. And so I'm just going to tell you how I approached it. So the very first thing I started doing is I talked about my tea bags, and I said, okay, what kind of feeling, emotion, etc. do I get from my tea bags? Because the thread that I have, the thread of an idea, is how do I use my collage to convey emotions, beliefs, ideas, etc. in this portrait? And this is a fairly new way of me looking at collage, and it came from me working in my healing ancestral trauma journal, and then it's carrying over from my painted ladies. So but it's still a new kind of a way of me looking at collage. Like, I've always looked at colors as very emotive, like colors just convey so much. So I've always looked at that element in my art to convey emotions, but I haven't looked at collage in that way, but I am now. So the very first thing I did, like I was saying, is, I was writing about my tea bags. So to me, the tea bags, they feel very soft and vulnerable and kind of like really aged. They do have a resiliency to them, and that is also like physically they are resilient. So even though they look so fragile, they do have an element of fragility. They are like, they're pretty fragile, especially if I layer like 1 or 2 or 3 tea bags one on top of the other. Like, I can't, like, I'm kind of trying to pull it apart. Now I'm not going full strength, but it does have some resiliency to it. But it carries time. So it's like symbolizes time, memory, things like that. But then now contrasted with this black and white piece of collage, this feels more like it's patterns, so it can symbolize belief systems. It feels insistent, so stubborn. It feels like it could be like inner noise, disruption, things like that. It can kind of feel chaotic, but it also it's a pattern, so it does have stability. So it's just really, it's really there's some tension to this piece. And so now juxtaposed with this, I'm like, wow, that really provides a lot of interest. So I also have my dictionary pages over here. And to me, the dictionary pages, they symbolize, more so language, poetry, like the scene world. That's what the dictionary pages kind of symbolizes to me, whereas these kind of are more the unseen world. So again, we get back to the medial woman. We're standing in between the seen world and the unseen world. And some of the questions I asked myself is, does the graphic paper represent chaos or order? Because like I said, the pattern to me says order, but then the fact that it is really kind of bold and a little bit chaotic, maybe, that can also represent chaos. So does it represent one or the other or both? Does it want to be loud and stand alone, or does it want to be a little bit more subtle? And do I want to put it over under the tea bags? Does it feel like thoughts, or does it feel like stars, or does it feel like cells in your body, or does it feel like something completely different? Do I want to put the collage like in a rhythmic way, or do I just want to scatter it unpredictably? And where does it want to go? Does it want to go on her hair, on her face, on her neck, on her clothing, etc.? Now, for all my other 100-day projects, I did not go this deep. I did not. I didn't ask any of these questions, but because I am looking at collage in this way of wanting to convey more than what I have been doing thus far, I am going kind of deeper, much deeper with my 100-day collage. Because everything that I learn on this, I'm gonna now be able to carry it over into my other work, my healing ancestral trauma, my painted ladies that I cut out, etc., etc. So I don't always work this way, you guys, but I feel like for the collage and for what I'm trying to do, what I'm trying to use it for, I want to go this deep. So I just wanted to be transparent about, you know, hey, this idea that I had, it wasn't fully baked. It was just a thread. You know, yeah. So I just wanted to show you like how I'm working, how I'm kind of, the questions I'm asking, how I'm digging in there and trying to figure it out. And I also just love the tea bags too. Like I love while I'm going deeper, I'm also just enjoying the very surface level qualities of the tea bags and of this collage. Like I just love the pattern. I love the way it looks. So, you know, you can enjoy both at the same time. So anyways, you guys, I'm sorry for this a long song and dance before I even get into my portrait, but I just wanted to explain like what exactly I'm doing. So I allowed all of this to completely dry, and what I decided to do is I want the collage to show, like I don't want to cover up this black and white. I don't want to cover it up, but I also know that a little goes a long way, and that's why I cut out, excuse me, a very small piece, because it can be overpowering and I don't want it to overpower the whole portrait. So as you can see, like a little bit like really does it really does kind of like zing, you know. So I decided that I want the dress, like I'm just gonna leave the dress unfinished like that. Like I really like that kind of unfinished look. And I think I am going to kind of go like so. And I want to repeat it like at least 3 times. I want to stick with that. So I think what I'm gonna do is like put a part over here on the cheek. Now I do want it to show, so I'm gonna have to kind of like try to incorporate it into the face here. So what I'm gonna do is I am going to, I'm gonna extend the face a little bit here. And uh-oh, you guys, made a big mess here. Now because this red is quite overpowering, it is kind of like muddling up my brain just a little bit. And I don't know if I'm the only one that, like, you know, I do get kind of distracted a little bit. And I do want that red to show through. Like, I don't want to cover all of this red up. It's so beautiful. but by the same token, it's just like this. It can be a bit overpowering, so I have to kind of be careful, not for it not to overpower everything. And I'm gonna put some of that there. So you guys, because I'm dragging some of the skin tone into the hair, not only is that going to form some of the shapes of the hair, but it's going to give it some dimension and also some cohesion with the face. Like, so the black of the hair or the darkness of the hair is gonna have some of the skin tone colors for the highlights, and it's just a way of, you know, just moving the eye around and just keeping things more kind of flowing, I guess. And so I am gonna leave that like part there. I'm not gonna cover up that paper because, like I said, I wanted it to show. And I'm just gonna kind of do the eyes here. So you guys, I gotta say, I'm really loving like the collage here, and I am really loving a lot of what's going on. I'm gonna just put a layer of the background here. I just kind of want another layer here. And what I might do is, like when I let all this dry and, you know, stop the video and everything, is I might like go back to my studio log and kind of just write a little bit more, because I feel like my idea is more fleshed out now, but I still feel like I want to ask more questions and just kind of see like, hey, where does this want to go type of thing. Yeah. And Connie did talk about this, you guys, when I was in Oaxaca in the studio log. So so full disclosure, every time, like before I went to Oaxaca, you know, every time I'd go to a museum and like when I was, you know, standing in front of a Picasso or whatever it was, you know, I would, in my head, of course, talk to the painting. Of course I'm going to do that. Like I'm going to ask the painting questions. I'm going to converse with the painting, of course. But I had never done that with my own art. And it was when I was in Oaxaca that Connie talked about it. And I was like, oh my God, like, wow, yeah, okay, that makes total sense. And so that's when I started doing it. And I started, you know, doing it with my own art. But now I feel like working with a collage and working with my painted ladies, I'm doing it in a way that's just a little bit different than I had been doing it. And to me, this is really, really exciting. And it's a new way of working for me. It's like going deeper. It's going more like wider, more expansive. And that is really invoking my curiosity, and it's just really exciting to me, and I'm really loving it. Like, what am I going to discover, you know? What am I going to hear? So I'm going to go do that. Just, you know, just ask myself more questions and just kind of see what comes up. So I'm putting in some shapes here for the hair. And I am going to let this all dry naturally, you guys, and you'll see when I come back, like it is going to be so luscious. And I'll bring it up closer to the camera and you can see the background. I don't want to bring it up closer now because it's puddling, so it's going to be a big mess and if I move it. Okay, I'll probably put too much water there. Okay, you guys, if you've watched all the way to the end, thank you so much, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!